For those of you that haven't met yet, my name's Evan. I'm a senior account manager here with voices.com with our premium members. And I also, I'm the account manager that works with our coach partners as of recently. And of course, this is Coach Extraordinaire Shelly Shenoy. I'm sure it'll be a very information rich and fun webinar here today. And
Yeah.
of course, it's all about invaluable tips for animation auditions and the animation industry. So why don't we jump right in
Sure.
to what you have for us today, Shelly? Excited to hear
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over some really important tips. All right. When I train people in animation, there's a lot more, but we're going to make do with the time that we have today. So get ready to take some notes. Everybody's going to be learning something here. And I just want to say thanks to Voices for having me. And if there's
Absolutely.
anything that I say here on the website, this is not Voices representing me. That's me representing me. So come at me if there's anything that upsets you about the industry, because this is a tough industry and the animation part is really, really fun. But sometimes people hear information they don't want to know. And if you have any questions or problems or anything, come and let's talk. So I am Shelly Shenoy. I'm all over the internets. I do a lot of sketch comedy, a lot of voiceover work. I'm on TV and, blabbity blue for the voice acting and for the sketch comedy and all that fun stuff. So a little bit about me. I moved to New York in 2002. I started auditioning. I tried sushi. I co-created an all-female sketch comedy troupe called The Brothel. We were hired by MTV to do an original, to do one of the roasts before roasts were on television. We were asked to roast the original VJs, and I was asked to roast Courtney Love. And so I thought, what better way to roast Courtney Love than to show up as Courtney Love? So I did the hair and the look and just pretending to be wasted. Nobody told me that Courtney Love was going to be there. But she was laughing harder than anybody. And after the show, I was asked if I was a voice actor. And I said, no, I heard they can pay their rent. And I wish. And they said, oh, it wasn't a question. And that person got me my first voiceover audition a few weeks later, and I booked it. So that was the beginning of that. By 2008, I stopped working in finance. I didn't want to wait tables, so I worked in finance as a full-time job. I'm telling you, there are people out there that come to me that are like, I work full-time. How could I ever do this? I did it. If I can do it, you can do it. You just have to be smart with your time. And you really can make it happen, especially now with companies like Voices, that are absolutely huge. And you can audition, all the time now. Back then, it was a lot harder. Back when I was a kid, it was a lot harder. By 2011, I started NYCVO Coach, and everything took off from there. I became very well known in a cyclical career of always doing voiceover work, voiceover coaching, voice directing, very cyclical pattern, and everything just sort of exploded from there. These are some things that I'm known for here. I'm not known for putting together keynote presentations very well, but
you are now. Look at that.
But I tried to space some of these. This was all I could fit on here. I was like, that's good enough. But as you can see, it's a ton of animation work. The very first gig that I ever booked was an animation. And it was crazy. The audition process was crazy. Everything about it was crazy. It's where I started in this world. And then I moved on to becoming kind of a beast in the commercial industry. And I prefer to, train people in commercial first, but we'll get into that. So you guys are here probably because you love doing crazy voices. You're very funny. You're great with improv. Nice to meet you. I love the funny ones. You want to book an amazing gig. You don't know what you're doing wrong. You want to make more money. You want tips for booking, work in animation. That's great. Well, This is what you need to know first. You got to get your training in your mic technique, your mic choreography, you're recording and editing yourself really well daily. You're a great editor, how to interpret copy, getting really quick and liquid with cold reads, really knowing your audio elements like your gain dial and your noise gate features and all of that. You know, and I suggest doing all of this in the commercial industry first.
Right.
That way, you're eventually going to be able to scream, cry, laugh, vomit, burp, and more all on your microphone while recording yourself perfectly. So if you don't know how to record yourself perfectly in all of those areas, like, you know, just like this weekend at, I don't know, this weekend at Marshall's, we're having an amazing whatever, you know, find your surprise. I'm the voice of Marshall's and I can't remember what the commercial is, but like, it's, you know, it's just that kind of thing where it's like TJ Maxx and Home Goods, that one too, where, you know, if you don't know how to record yourself, you know, using a good amount of great commercial energy and all of that, how are you going to record yourself well while you're screaming orders in the battlefield or sobbing over your dead, you know, husband or whatever, you know what I mean? Like all of this stuff happens in the animation world. People die all the time. And you got to know how to record yourself reacting to that or getting killed, you know, like the screaming and all of that. Because the last thing you want to do is be learning your tech at the same time as you're learning how to really emulate and perform on the microphone for animation. So what we're going to do things a little bit differently here today. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take these two volunteers. I believe we have a male and a female. I'm going to take the girl first, if that's okay. And here's what we're going to do, guys. So in the animation industry, these kinds of things happen all the time. Let me walk you through what we're going to do. We're going to have a guy and a girl reading for the same role. This is common. They're going to hear each other audition. And if you're ever auditioning in person, it's also very common to hear people through the sound studio door. You're going to hear what they're doing. It happens all the time. I grew up that way in the industry. For the first 12, 15 years of my career, I could hear people auditioning in the room that I was about to go in and audition in. So hearing other people audition, that's pretty normal. They've got to create their own unique audition. And then each actor is going to be able to read the copy just one time. So my lady is going to read through it and my guy is going to read through it, and that's it. While they're reading through it, look and see what they're doing, if that makes you curious. These very brave volunteers doing this in front of everybody. But also you look at the copy. I want you guys to look at the copy and see what you would do in this audition. Knowing that this is cold copy. These actors have never seen the copy before. You guys are going to see it at the same time.
Very brave indeed.
These actors, I love them. I want both of you actors to email me after this is done, so I've got your information so I can say thanks for jumping up here so bravely. Now, after both actors audition, they're going to go away for a minute, and I'm going to teach everyone all together how to improve their auditions. And then the actors are going to come back and they're going to read again, making these definitive, stronger choices. And we're going to go through all of that together. So think about what you would be doing during this process. Okay. Yeah. And then you guys are going to hear them make these improvements in real time when it's done. Okay. So I have Ivan, and is it Dallas?
Yeah, it's Dallas.
Dallas. What's up, lady?
Hello.
Great to have you. Thanks so much for agreeing to do this. Both
of course. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Dallas, on the next page, it's going to be your copy, and so everybody knows it's actually formatted very similarly. It's formatted very similarly to how animation auditions are, which is you see the line, and then after the line, you see the direction for that line. So Dallas, you with me?
Yeah.
All right, so you're gonna look through this and start whenever you're ready, and you're gonna go for it. So we are casting for a witch. This character's name is Witch. She's a crackling classic witch when she's angry, but she's also kind of a good person on a good day, which is weird, but that's this witch. Now, maybe this weird witch sounds different from the typical sounding witch. Maybe she is a he witch. We don't know. Surprise us with your spin on the classic witch. Your lines are in bold with the directions following Dallas. So go for it.
Okay.
Are you staring at your ugly shoes? You might as well be staring at a cowboy. Hey, Roberta. Have you been practicing that mouth drums thing I taught you? What the? Put my head! I don't have any silver coins, but I can turn anything into a monster. Monsters, monsters, boil in trouble. Where will the monsters come?
Awesome, Dallas. Okay,
Amazing.
Ivan, you ready, my friend?
Yeah, sure.
All right, give it your best shot.
Okay. What are you staring at? You ugly shoes? You might as well be staring at a cow pie. Oh, hey, Roberta, have you been practicing that mouth drum thing I taught you? What the? Put my head back on my body, you hairy buffoon. I don't have any silver coins, but I can turn anything into a monster.
All right, you done, Ivan?
Yeah, I think so. Is there any
Incredible.
more lines under that? I don't see anymore.
That's okay.
The prancing. Just a quick note here.
Let's hear a few seconds of witch prancing and murmuring. I missed that part. Sorry.
That's okay. Do you want to try it?
Witch prancing and murmuring. I can't prance.
I'm loving this is the best webinar to do.
Okay, so we are going to get to tips, Evan.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's go forward, and then we'll have you both read after we go through all that stuff. Yeah.
All right. So as you guys all saw, this is what's going on here. And you saw the directions written afterwards. Now, how can we do this audition better? Now, the answer is intelligently creating your own givens. So givens, this could be, a bio, a photograph, a life history of all the things you could ever want. But when you are given very little, you can start adding givens yourself. So these decisions are going to determine every element of your character. And here are some givens to consider creating if you're only given the line. Okay. Again, when I train people in animation, there's at least 25 different givens. We're going to go over like 5 right here. So first and foremost, your tone of voice. Now, a lot of times in animation auditions, they'll have multiple characters listed right in a row. So how are you going to differentiate each character if you're reading them all in a row? You want to have clean character splits using different tones of voice. So your tone of voice here, this first pointer, low, medium, or high, bold, boisterous, rich, dark, velvety, higher, whimsical, your tone of voice can already make your character really specific. And the placement of your voice. So like, is it coming from the back of your throat? Is it coming from the side of your mouth here? Is it like coming over the top of your head? There are lots of different ways where you can place the voice, okay? And your tone and the placement can already be so specific to what you're doing and really make you stand out. So again, a tip in the animation industry, when you read multiple characters in a row, these first 2 pointers are going to be Really important. Okay. Also, remember the manner in which you project your voice or retreat your voice. You've got to be recording yourself perfectly on your microphone. So like, if I'm doing a character that's like here, okay, and then the next one's like, you know, like right over here, then you've got to make sure that you're adjusting your dialing, you know, perfectly to record these. Now, when I say clean character splits, also remember, try not to sound like the character you just did. Okay, that's called character dragging. Is when you don't have the discipline to like take a clean break in between characters to make sure that they don't sound alike, right? Age, how will you age the character if this isn't given to you? So aging your character will affect the voice. Now, make intelligent and realistic decisions. If the age is given to you and it says the character is 65, and you come in there like, oh boy, I was just wondering if we could start a fire. You sound like you're 165. Like, what 65-year-old do you know that sounds like that? None of them do. Okay, so really be intelligent with your age choices. And also, if you don't know where to put your voice when aging for a younger character, don't strain, because you will sound like a grown adult that's like trying to sound like a kid, and that's a strain, and that doesn't work. Okay, so place of origin. Where was your character born and raised, and how will this affect their way of speaking or even their attitude? Okay, the emotional status. Did you catch them on a bad day, a good day? Are they in love? Are they angry? And remember that if you aren't fully diving into the character's emotion, then it will sound like you are pretending to have that emotion. And there is nothing worse in the animation world than being able to detect falsities in your performance. Okay, so for example, I think it's a misnomer that if you are a voice actor, that you're really just a voice reader, right? People get into this voice acting industry and they're like, but I don't really have to be an actor, right? Yeah, yes, you do. You really do have to be an actor in order to really be a believable character, especially in the world of animation, right? So if you're not fully feeling it when you're emoting this performance, your listeners will be able to hear that you're not fully feeling it. So if it's, you know, like, I don't know, quick, they're coming, right? And you're like, quick, they're coming, right? But if you're like, quick, they're coming, I mean, it's immediate, the fear and the intensity and the stakes being really high. You've got to play it all the way through, right? And last, you know, here's one last one that I threw in there. Again, there's like 20 more that I go over with students, but speech impediments, the manner in which they speak. Do they have a lisp? Do they wear braces? Are they a mumbler? But remember to use your common sense and your discipline when you're doing this, because some people get overzealous when they are doing you know, a character with a mouth thing, and they become you can't understand them, right? So if you're doing something like this, you got to make sure that like people can understand every word. So you better be using a lot more discipline, right? Rather than like actually and nobody can understand you, right? So be really clear with your choices. Have a lot of discipline and common sense. And the riskiest part of all, of course, is wallas and improvisation. What is a walla? Okay, wallas, raise your hand if you know. All right. And it doesn't count if you're already my student. I know, Carmen. Oh, some people raise their hands. I love it. So wallas are non-verbal sound effects that you do with your voice. So for example, if the line is, "Can you help me with this, kiddo?" and your character is lifting something heavy, you don't say, "Can you help me with this, kiddo?" What do you say? "Hey, can you help me with this, kiddo?" Right? So like if you're lifting something heavy, you have to actually sound like you're lifting something heavy. And all of that's nonverbal. I didn't add any words to the script. It's just vocal wallas that enhance what you're doing audibly. Now 2 things for a cartoon example of me doing wallas with my voice. You can visit the page NYC VO Coach VO Tips. There's tons of videos up there for examples. And coming soon to nycvocoach.com, there will be audio demonstrations of wallas so that you can hear them with no sound effects and then used with sound effects so you can hear the difference, especially in the world of auditioning. In the world of auditions, you don't have anything but your imagination to play with when it comes to doing this, right? All you have is your imagination. And so if you're not using your imagination, nobody's going to want to hire you because they won't be able to hear it if you can't hear it when you're performing. Does that make sense? Evan, you with
Absolutely.
me? You guys all with me? All right.
Oh, we're with you.
And then lastly, improvisation. So you got to think of improvisation like salt, okay? Add a sprinkle to your food. Don't dump it on and ruin your dinner, because if you improv too much, you could, and nobody ever thinks about this, you could offend the copywriters or the creators of that character, because what you're doing is you're taking the steering wheel and going, I'm gonna write my own story here. Right. And they could be offended. So use improvisation. If you do 2 takes, use it in your second take. And if you're doing 1 take and you're going to do a little of improv, just do a sprinkle or do it towards the end. Just use it really, really intelligently with your common sense and your discipline. Okay.
I like that.
Okay. So let's bring Dallas and Ivan back. And
All
for
right.
Dallas and Ivan, and for everybody else reading along, here are the lines again. And you're given these directions at the end: a cackling laugh, patronizing sound, excited she taught someone a new trick. There's struggles, she's reaching around for her head, so that's wallas, right? All of these wallas. Flustered and mad, if you're going to be mad, be mad. Quick thinking and convincing, and then witch prancing around. So there's lots of things to go with here. You were given lots of givens, but now let's hear you add your own. So Ivan, Dallas, do either one of you want to go first?
Doesn't matter. I can go.
All right, Ivan,
All right.
let's have you go first.
What are you staring at? Your ugly shoes? Might as well be staring at a cow pie. Oh, hey, Roberta, have you been practicing that mouth drum thing I taught you? What the? Put my head back on my body, you hairy buffoon. I don't have any coins, but I can turn anything into a monster. Oh, look at that fire.
Okay, good. So, Ivan, mouth drums thing. I want you to think about the mouth drums, okay? Because we're gonna go to Dallas. Dallas, get ready. I want you to think about the mouth drums, because Ivan, I'm gonna come back to you. And when you are struggling to reach for your head and you are saying, put my head back on my body, I want you to go full rage. I want to feel the anger. Okay. Dallas, your turn.
Hello. All right.
What are you staring at, your ugly shoes? You might as well be staring at a cow pie. Oh, hey, Roberta. Have you been practicing that mouth drums thing I taught you? What the? Put my head back on my body, you hairy buffoon! I don't have any silver coins, but I can turn anything into a monster. Monsters.
Okay, my love. Okay, so Dallas, here's a couple things I want you to look at, okay, Dallas, and then I'm going to go to back to Ivan and we're going to redo his. So while we're working with Ivan, Dallas, I want you to think about this. You're given really specific directions on each line, so be careful that when you're, for example, struggling around and reaching for your head, that I don't hear you out of breath when you do the next line, right? I don't want to hear traces of the line before. So look at that. Let's not have that gorgeous witch cackle laugh be your only walla. So I really want you to struggle around looking for your head. Okay. And also the mouth drums thing. I want you to think about some more wallas there. Okay. So Ivan.
Yeah.
Let's give it another shot.
The whole thing?
Yep.
Well, okay, Iffy. What are you staring at? Your ugly shoes? I might as well be staring at a cow pie. Oh, hey, Roberta. Have you been practicing that mouth drums thing I taught you? What the? Put my head back on my body, you hairy buffoon. I don't have any silver coins, but I can turn anything into a monster.
Okay, so I only want you to redo one line.
Okay.
And I want you to say, what the, put my head back on my body, you hairy buffoon, and let me hear you flustered and furious. Let me hear you reach around for your head, struggling to find your head. You're blind now.
What the? Put my head back on my body, you hairy buffoon.
Okay, so Ivan, I'm going to have you do it one more time, and I want you to scare us.
Okay.
Right? Because what you're giving me is the cutest witch in the whole world, but you have an opportunity here to show us how angry she can get.
Can I swear? No. What the? Put my head back on my body, you hairy buffoon.
Okay, so Ivan, what you're doing right there, I call that
Bad on the throat.
no, it's actually faux enthusiasm. So it's like a faux vocal thing. So it's people use faux enthusiasm or faux vocal technique when they're describing something. For example, I went to the Super Bowl last year and the guy caught the the touchdown pass on his helmet and he dropped to the ground and then he scored a touchdown. The whole crowd was like, ah. So it's a mock vocal performance, mock vocal. Because I'm not going to actually scream like how they screamed, when he scored the touchdown. Don't give me a mock vocal performance when you're doing animation. Go there vocally. So if you want to back away from your mic, you can. But what I'm getting is, what the? Oh, I put my head. Ooh, I'm mad. Let me hear you actually go for it vocally.
Pho is Vietnamese soup, by the way.
It's the French one.
It is. And I was looking for the word mock instead of faux, but it's the same. It's the thing. I call it mock vocal performance. And faux is a very good soup. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. What the heck? Put my head back on my body, you hairy buffoon.
Okay, so Ivan, if that's angry on a level 2, can I hear you angry on a level 10?
Oh, shit. I don't get that angry. Okay. What? Put my head back on my body, you hairy buffoon.
So much better. So much better. I think you gave me like a 4 or a 5. We got to work on letting the beast out, Ivan, but like you are definitely taking steps in the exact right direction, because when you're able to cleanly have and display those emotions on clear and authentic different levels, now you're giving me a performance, right? What the, put my head back. You see what I mean?
Gotcha.
Right. Instead of like, oh, hey, where's my snarkadoopin head?
Right.
Darn it. Right. And so they're going to want to hear when you go angry that you can be angry, that you can express vocal anger. Right. Everything else, fantastic, especially your mouth drums. Okay, Dallas, let's hear your adjustments.
Hello. Okay.
What are you staring at? Your ugly shoes? You might as well be staring at a cow pie. Oh, hey, Roberta. Have you been practicing that mouse drums thing I taught you? What the? Put my head back on my body, you hairy buffoon!
Mm-hmm.
Ah, well, I don't have any silver coins, but I can turn anything into a monster. Come. Both get the fire as it burns.
Wow.
Cute. The only thing I want to rehear from you, Dallas, is what are you staring at? Your ugly shoes? You might as well be staring at a cow pie. Can I get really patronizing on that?
Yes, absolutely.
Arrogance. Let me just hear that arrogance.
What are you staring at? Your ugly shoes? You might as well be staring at a cow pie.
Good. See, that's great. And then you take that authentic emotion and then you switch to, oh, hey, Roberta, right? And now you're getting these emotions really popping on the off the page there. Really good work, you guys. For both of those wonderful actors, Ivan and Dallas, great mouth drums. Because if you're not, it's really funny because you see something like that and you really have to stop and think, oh, okay, what is this like beatboxing, right? Because if I were to see that, it would be, are you practicing that mouth drums thing I showed you? And you're just like, wait, what? And then just go into beatboxing and like really surprise them on the mic. You just go for it. Both of them had like, which was
Right.
absolutely
That was great.
hilarious. I also thought it was really funny that Dallas had the funniest, where nobody's dyslexic until you become a voice actor. And on her first cold read, it was super, super cold. Instead of cow pie, she said cowboy. You might as well be staring at a cowboy. And that was the most delightful thing. When actors make delicious mistakes like that, it's not a bad thing. It can be really funny. It can add to the story. Everybody knows like it's a simple mistake, but it's adorable. And, the world can be really forgiving in the world of animation, so long as you're going there all the way. Like if she was like, you might as well be staring at a cowboy. It's somehow
They might
it
change
works. It somehow it works. So yeah, every element of that was just great. So that is legit everything. We're opening it up to questions. I see that I've missed over 100 comments in the chat room, so we can go there.
Absolutely.
But like I said, in the world of when I train people in animation, we go over 25 to 30 different vocal techniques and give-ins and things that you can do and use to express and perform your animation auditions to really make things pop. And that's really it. This is just like a sliver of that. Last year we went way over time, and this year I think
we have time. we've got some time
have
for questions.
So I wanted to make sure that we, if anybody has any questions about anything, and again, if you guys want to email me directly, go for it. You'll be sent a welcome letter, and there's a lot of GIFs, videos, and links in it. So it's going to go directly to your trash mail if you don't add NYC VO Coach to add Gmail to your contact list.
Again, that was absolutely incredible to witness and hear the transformation. I think we're all following along. Incredible and very very impressive places that we got to with those reads. I mean, it was already impressive at the hop, but well, Shelly, thank you so much for sharing all your insights with us today. And a special thank you to you from Voices and from myself. We love working with you. And a special thank you as well.
Too.
Oh, thank you.
Come to New York soon. You guys got to come to New York.
I know it's been too long. We'll come back.
2019.
I know. And we do want to thank especially Dallas and Ivan for gracing us with those performances. We're all very impressed with both the performances and also you being willing to audition live in front of 120 people. So that's even more nerve-wracking than a typical audition. So shout out to you for doing that. And yeah, that's what it is for today. So thanks everybody for joining and taking time out of your day to hang out with us here and Shelly. And I encourage you to take a look at that slide, visit nycvocoach.com or email directly. And don't forget to whitelist and NYC Coach as the contact. Don't let it end up in the trash.
Yeah, if you write me a message and you think that I didn't write back, that's not. I did write you back.
That's right.
Check your trash mail.
Check the spam.
Check your spam. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your Monday.
Thanks, guys.
Bye for now.